To talk more now about that United Rugby Championship final, I'm joined by South African sports journalist Michael Vlismas, all the way from Dublin in Ireland. Good evening, Michael. Thank you very much for joining us on The Full View.
Good evening. It's good to be with you.
So now, these two teams have been undoubtedly the best in the season, in the season's competition. What can we expect from them in tomorrow's final?
Well, the Irish media here are calling it the grandest of all grand finals. So they're extremely excited about it. And I think, the word desperation was used in those press conferences. These are two teams that are desperate to claim this trophy. Leinster, of course, looking to finally, make good in the playoffs, which they haven't been able to do. And the Vodacom Bulls looking to finally sort of, clinch it after two previous attempts in a grand final. So I do think you've got two teams that are extremely hungry for glory here, and two very evenly matched teams when you look at the statistics coming into this final.
I want to speak about these teams' records in the playoffs in previous seasons. Bulls losing two finals in the past 2 years or 3 years. And then with Leinster, I mean, everybody would have expected them to do a lot better than they have in the URC up to this point. It's their first final in the competition. Who exactly has more at stake in tomorrow's game?
Well, you would imagine that Leinster certainly has more at stake playing in front of their home fans. There's a lot of pressure on them, of course. It's with the number of Irish Test players they've got in the team, they've offered up a record number of British and Irish Lions players as well. So they will feel that heavy tag of pressure, certainly. The Vodacom Bulls also, you would imagine, they've made two finals. They've lost a final at home as well. So they're certainly going to feel that they need to deliver. But I would imagine the pressure is squarely on the shoulders of Leinster. There's a lot expected of them. They've never really performed at a playoff level, and there's some saying that has filtered through to the national team as well. So knockout rugby is where they're going to be judged at the moment, and I think they know it.
For the Bulls, they've played Leinster twice in the playoffs before, in last year's semi-finals at home at Loftus-Versfeld, where they ended up winning that one, and back in 2022 as well in Dublin, where they ended up winning that one, progressing to the final where they ended up playing the Stormers in Cape Town. Does that give them, the Bulls, a little bit more confidence heading into this one?
That's a massive confidence boost for them. That semi-final, this team was a young team when they won that semi-final. And it's now a much more battle-hardened team, much more experienced team, and a closer team as a group. Ruan Nortje saying that they're a team that are not just playing for a trophy on Saturday, they're playing for that something bigger as a unit that they want to cement for their journey of the past 4 seasons. So yes, their away record this season as well. The Vodacom Bulls have been very, very strong on the road. So playing in Dublin, playing against Irish opposition, it's nothing new to them. But it's still going to be a challenge. It's Croke Park behind me. It's an 80,000-seater stadium. It's going to be filled with Irish fans. So they're certainly going to have their job cut out to keep those fans quiet.
And speaking of that, do you reckon that the Bulls team, the way that Jake White has set up, will have enough to end up, silencing that crowd at Croke Park?
I think it depends on the game plan, and it depends on how tight they keep the game. They've certainly got the scrum, the best scrum in the competition, no doubt about it. We saw that against the Sharks last weekend. And, there's been a couple of personnel changes as a result of Cameron Hanekom being injured. Marcel Coetzee brings a lot of physicality at the back, though. So Ruan Nortje at flank. So I do think they certainly have the wherewithal. They've got the ability. They've got the personnel to make it a long night for Leinster. But the trick with Leinster is as soon as they start getting on the front foot and they get that momentum, they attack in those kind of rolling phases. And the minute they get that going, they're very hard to stop. Again, the aerial battle as well. That battle, Kainan Moody, James Lowe, how they are under the high ball on the night is going to be critical.
You've spoken about Ireland not doing well in playoffs in previous tournaments that they've played in. That Leinster side is brimming with Ireland internationals and with Geordie Barrett as well from New Zealand, who played in the World Cup final 2 years ago. What will be the key for the Bulls getting underneath the Irish skin?
they're going to have to be very well disciplined. Leinster is a well-drilled team. They don't make mistakes. They are very well drilled, and they're very clinical, especially when they get into the 22. They've been one of the top finishers, and in terms of conversion rate, once they get into the 22, they're very, very dangerous off the front foot there. So they're going to have to make sure they don't make mistakes. They close down the gaps, and I think there, like I say, somebody at the back, I think Rowan Urquhart, Marcel Coetzee, players of that caliber are going to have to get through a lot of work. I do think when it comes to the back lines, I think the Vodacom Bulls definitely can have a say there. Willie Leroux, of course, we know can be magical on any given day, and once he starts putting the ball up into the air, he can decide a few things as well.
And just quickly, Michael, would you be brave enough to make a prediction for tomorrow's game?
I'll give you one prediction. It's definitely 100% going to rain. So that you can take that to the bookies.
Okay, Michael Vlismas, thank you very much for joining us all the way from Dublin in Ireland ahead of tomorrow's URC final.